blog. My name's Keith, and today we're going to talk about my hobby progress this week. We are continuing in the New Year's tradition of tackling my backlog, and we have painted another Ungor this week, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. If you've been following along with the videos, you've seen several of these guys before, and you're familiar with the color scheme that I paint them in. This guy I got a little too familiar with, and there are some mistakes. I painted them up super fast yesterday, and I can definitely tell some spots that I need to touch up. This Ungor comes in a set of 6. It's part of an Underworld's warband, and the other 2 models in this unit are different than the Ungors. They are Bestigors. I know, very, very original. But they have more of like a donkey-like appearance to their heads, and I'm very interested to paint those 2 up coming up in the future. I also used a different paint range for the metallics on this guy. So I used Army Painter's War Paints Fanatic Core Metallic Set. That's a lot of words. And I'm putting those paints through like the rigor tests right now to see what they can do. And I guess look forward to a review of those in the future. Part of those tests involve this thing. This is a Realmshaper engine. It's part of the Seraphon army set, but my mom got it for me for Christmas. Hey Mom, thank you for this. This was last year's Christmas gift, and this is tackling a backlog. So if you see there's a whole bunch of different colored metallics, all of those colors are metallics. I'm kind of experimenting with it, especially I mixed in a blue and got, you can't really see it, focus, but a very, very pretty blue metallic. Which I think is overall going to be my color scheme. I airbrushed, got the airbrush out, and started using this on this thing, and I'm very, very happy with the results of the actual stonework, but I'm trying to figure out the actual coloration of the tiles themselves. Like this has a darker green, that has a lighter green. I think I like the lighter green, and I think I'm going to go with the blue, but gotta test it out. And finally, the game of the week, which this week is Hues and Cues by Scott Brady. Hues and Cues is a very simple game that you can pick up and play in about 30 minutes because it takes place on, I don't know if I should open it up all the way, but it takes place on a giant color board. Look at that. It's insane. It's huge. It's got all the different colors. It's a game for 3 to 10 people in which players take turns drawing cue cards, which have 4 colors and then their corresponding grid locations on the playboard. As the cuer, it is your job to pick one of these colors and then give the rest of the players a 1-word hint with some restrictions. You cannot name one of the main colors, red, green, blue, yellow, purple, things like that. But abstract names for colors are acceptable, so lavender and chartreuse would be fine. You may not refer to a color's position on the board, so things like left and right are a no-go. And additionally, you can't point to an object in the room and say, that color. Once the cuer has given their cue, every other player will take turns placing a token on the color they think best fits the cue, with the restriction that every color can only hold 1 token. After all players have placed their token, the cuer will give another cue, this time with 2 words, with the same restrictions being in place, except you additionally cannot say lighter or darker than the particular color they guessed, as that would give a relative position on the board. Now, all other players get one last chance to place another token to guess the color. And then you move on to the scoring phase, where you take this square, place it over the color, and players get points based off how close they were to the actual color. Additionally, the cuer gets points for every token that is within this square. And those are the rules of Hues and Cues. You could play it with me right now. But let's move on to how we rate these games. We have our 3 criteria, those being approachability, depth of rule set, and price. Hues and Cues is a very approachable game. It will be getting a 10 out of 10 of perfect Keith score for a variety of reasons, including a colorful box, the ability to include up to 10 people, and the 30-minute playtime, which honestly is just very refreshing. You can pick it up and play it very fast. Additionally, it's also going to score some bonus points because I think it's a game particularly to like start young children into, like if you have any kids in your house and they're like 4, 5, 6, going on that age where they want to start doing stuff, and maybe you want to introduce like board gaming to them, this is a game that all they have to do is plop a little thing down, and you can start teaching them like different words for colors and stuff like that. I think it could be very educational and very fun at the same time. Depth of rule set is where Hues and Hues may struggle a little bit, because I personally like strategic, deep rules, and Hues and Hues is not that whatsoever. This doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad game, however. Again, I was praising it like 30 seconds ago. But personally for me, I am going to give it a 2. It is nowhere near as complex as some of the games I've played. In fact, I think it's less complex than Uno. So makes it a great game for starters into the hobby. Price-wise, Hues and Hues gets another 10 out of 10. You can pick it up for $15 at Walmart. That is the cheapest, but if you prefer to shop elsewhere, it's about $20. And then for my personal score, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I completely recognize how great of a game it is for multiple people and how quickly you can get people to start playing it. But at the same time, again, I prefer more strategic rules, and it's just not a game that I can see myself playing if I had the choice of other games in my collection. In totality, this gives Hues and Hues a score of 6.75 in my completely objective, but also influenced by personal bias scale. Trademark pending. But with that, that's all I have. So remember to like the video if you liked the video. Let me know how you like the game segment, if you've tried out any of the games yet. If I make one person try one new game throughout this entire year, I will be happy. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I release a video like this every Thursday, and I would love to have you along on my hobby journey. And remember, I'm Keith, this has been The Paint Log, and I will see you all next time. Bye!